They interrupt you, they dismiss your time, and they act like your boundaries don't matter. What do you do when someone consistently disrespects you? Whether it's subtle sarcasm or outright disregard, do you stay silent and let it slide, or is it time to finally draw the line? Welcome to Stoic Bridge, the bridge between ancient wisdom and modern life, guiding you through life's storms with calm and resilience. In today's video, we're diving into 5 powerful Stoic-inspired strategies to handle people who don't respect you without losing your cool, chasing approval, or lowering your standards. Whether it's a passive-aggressive coworker, a toxic friend, or someone in your own family, you'll walk away with real practical tools to protect your peace and reclaim your power. From the strength of a silent stare to the boldness of walking away, this isn't about revenge. It's about respect, your self-respect. So if you're tired of tolerating rude behavior and ready to set firm boundaries with quiet confidence, you're in exactly the right place. Let's begin. Solution number 1, embrace the silent stare. As we discussed earlier, it's easy to fall into the trap of defending ourselves or reacting when someone disrespects us. But here's something simple yet powerful that can change the entire dynamic: the silent stare. Have you ever tried the power of a silent stare? It may sound like a subtle approach, almost too simple, but trust me, it's one of my all-time favorite techniques for handling disrespect. When someone is rude or disrespectful, nothing shakes them more than a calm, steady, silent gaze. People who seek to provoke are often looking for a reaction. They want to see you stumble, get flustered, or try to fight back so they can pull you into their drama. But when you just look at them, silently and unflinchingly, the power dynamic shifts instantly. You might be wondering, just a look? Let me share a personal experience to show you how effective this can be. At a family gathering, one relative kept criticizing everything, from the food to the decor, even everyone's stories. Finally, he made a disrespectful comment about me. Instead of arguing or reacting, I simply turned to him and looked, silent and expressionless. He started to fumble, became visibly uncomfortable, and eventually stopped his tirade. For the rest of the event, he didn't bother anyone. That silent stare was far more powerful than words could have been. Not only did it stop his behavior on the spot, but it also earned me more respect from him. He realized I wasn't someone he could dismiss so easily. Sometimes the strongest response is to say nothing at all. When you meet someone's gaze with that calm, steady stare, you're sending a clear message without uttering a single word. I'm not going to engage in your drama. It's not about being aggressive, but about asserting your right to peace and dignity. People who habitually disrespect others often do so because they've never been confronted. But when you respond with that silent gaze, you're like a mirror reflecting their actions back at them. It doesn't just stop their behavior, it strengthens your own self-respect. I used to be the person who'd laugh off rude comments or try to explain myself, but honestly, that drained my energy. Learning to stand still and let the silence speak for me was a game changer. It became a quiet act of defiance, a statement of self-respect. So the next time someone is rude or crosses a line, try the silent stare. Just look at them and let your calmness fill the space. You'll be amazed at how unsettled it makes them and how empowered you feel. The silent stare sends a powerful message: I respect myself too much to be dragged into your negativity. Now, let's move on to another effective method for handling disrespect that works wonders: knowing when to simply walk away. Solution number 2, embrace silence as your answer. Following up on our previous solution, where we used a silent stare to shift the power dynamic, let's now explore another form of silence that can be just as powerful: embracing silence as your answer. Have you ever realized just how potent silence can be as a weapon? When someone disrespects you, sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. I know what you're thinking. Staying silent might seem passive, as if you're letting them get away with it. But here's the truth. Silence isn't weak. It's a choice, and it's a powerful one. When you choose not to engage in someone else's negativity, you're not only protecting your peace, but you're also forcing them to confront their own actions. That silence speaks volumes. People who disrespect others are often looking for a reaction. They want an argument, a defense, or even just a hint of confusion to validate their behavior. But silence? Silence says, I'm not giving you my energy. By refusing to react, you take control of the situation, showing them that you're not here to entertain their disrespect. Sometimes, the most powerful form of communication is not communication at all. It's a subtle yet impactful reminder that they're not worth your time or your words. I remember a time when I had a friend who just couldn't resist making little jokes that crossed the line. You know the type. The ones who disguise their insults as humor, thinking it's all in good fun. One day, he made a cutting remark about my personal life, clearly trying to provoke me. Normally, I would have explained myself or, at the very least, fired back. But this time, I just looked at him. I raised an eyebrow and said nothing. I let his words hang in the air, forcing him to sit with the uncomfortable silence. He didn't know how to respond. He glanced away, mumbled something, and quickly changed the subject. After that, he stopped pulling me into that nonsense altogether. It was as if he realized I wasn't someone he could easily upset. That silent look did far more than words could have. It shut down his behavior and made him see that I wasn't playing along. Choosing silence when confronted with disrespect robs negativity of the attention it craves. Here's the deeper message. When you choose silence, you're choosing yourself. You're saying, I value my peace more than I value your opinion of me. And that's not just empowering, it's transforming. We often feel the pressure to respond, to explain ourselves, to defend our choices to people who don't respect us. But by staying silent, you're refusing to play by their rules. You're holding your ground without lifting a finger. You're showing them that they're not worth your words. It's not just about controlling the situation. It's about reclaiming your energy. Silence becomes a filter, a way to protect your inner peace while blocking out the negativity others try to project onto you. The moment you stop feeling obligated to respond to every rude comment, every passive-aggressive criticism, you start to free yourself. You stop letting people invade your inner world and you begin living life on your own terms. I'll be honest, learning to embrace silence wasn't easy for me at first. I used to think that if I didn't stand up for myself, I'd come across as weak or passive. But over time, I began to notice something interesting. Every time I responded to those who didn't respect me, I felt drained. But when I stayed silent and let their words fade into the background like white noise, I felt lighter, stronger, and more in control. It was like I was reclaiming a part of myself every time I chose silence over reaction. So here's my challenge to you. The next time someone disrespects you, pause. Take a deep breath, look them in the eye, and say nothing. Let your silence do the talking. You may be surprised at how uncomfortable it makes them and how liberating it makes you feel. Now that we've embraced the power of silence, let's move on to a solution that requires action, but in a completely different way. Walking away. Sometimes stepping away from a situation is the most powerful statement you can make. Solution number 3, stop explaining your choices. Building on the idea of standing firm with your decisions, let's dive into another empowering solution. Stop explaining your choices. Have you ever noticed that every time you make a personal decision, there's always someone eager to know why. Why did you choose that path? Why didn't you attend that event? Why did you leave that stable job? It seems like many people feel entitled to an explanation for every choice you make. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. That decision is yours alone, and you don't need to justify it to anyone. Now, this might sound a bit unconventional, but let's be honest. When someone questions your decisions, they usually don't have a genuine desire to understand. Instead, they want to judge. They want to make you second-guess yourself or even pressure you into reconsidering your choices, all while making themselves feel better about their own decisions. The truth is, you don't have to play into that. When you stop explaining yourself, you regain control. You show them that your life isn't up for debate or evaluation. But why do people feel entitled to an explanation in the first place? Often it's because your choices challenge their own worldview. Maybe you're taking risks they're too afraid to take, or stepping outside a comfort zone that gives them a sense of security. But just because your independence makes them uncomfortable, doesn't mean you need to ease their discomfort. Your life isn't a public service announcement, and you don't owe anyone a justification for your decisions. I remember when I decided to change careers, leaving a stable job for something I was passionate about, despite the increased risks. The reactions were like I had announced I was moving to Mars. Everyone wanted to know, why give up a stable job? At first, I tried to explain my passion and the plans behind the decision. But the more I explained, the more questions came my way, and the more I began to doubt myself. Then one day, when someone asked me again, I simply replied, because I want to. No lengthy explanation. And let me tell you, it felt amazing. The silence that followed was everything. People didn't know how to respond, because I had taken away their right to question my choices. You know what happened next? They stopped asking. That's the beauty of not explaining yourself. It sets you free. When you stand firm in your truth, knowing that your decisions are valid simply because you made them, you stop wasting energy on unnecessary explanations and start channeling that energy into truly living the life you want. There's a deeper lesson here. Your life doesn't need audience approval. Not every decision needs to be analyzed or approved by others. When you stop explaining yourself, you send a clear message. I'm confident in my choices, and I don't need your approval. Think about it. When was the last time you saw someone truly confident, breaking down their decisions for others? Probably never. Those who are masters of their own lives don't seek outside validation. They know the only approval that matters is their own. I've been there. I used to provide a whole explanation, almost like a PowerPoint presentation, just to gain others' approval. But over time, I realized that doing this scanner only made me doubt my choices. So I set a new rule for myself. If someone asked me about a decision, I'd give a short answer, just 1 or 2 sentences. If they pushed further, I'd smile and move on. And you know what? Life became so much lighter. The more I stopped explaining, the more confident I became in my choices. So here's my challenge to you. The next time someone questions your choice, resist the urge to explain. Simply say, because I want to, or it's the right choice for me, and let the silence speak for itself. You'll be amazed at how powerful that simple statement can be. You'll feel stronger, more in control, and more at peace with yourself. And the best part? You'll realize that your choices don't need anyone else's approval. They hold value simply because you made them. Before we continue to the next solution, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel with the bell icon so you won't miss any future content. And if this resonates with you, drop a comment saying, "Love this wisdom. Let's keep learning." Now let's dive into the next tip for setting healthy boundaries. Solution number 4, keep your distance. Continuing from our previous discussion about standing firm in your choices, let's now explore a strategy that can offer even greater relief: keeping your distance. Have you ever found that no matter how hard you try, some people simply disregard your worth and personal boundaries? Here's a hard truth. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. If someone continuously disrespects you, one of the healthiest choices you can make is to create some space between you and them. This isn't about harboring hatred or overreacting. It's about respecting yourself enough to protect your energy and your peace. Maintaining distance doesn't mean being cold or ignoring others. It's about consciously choosing where and how to spend your time and emotional investment. Think of your life as a private club with restricted access. Not everyone deserves a VIP pass. If someone repeatedly crosses boundaries and makes you feel exhausted or uneasy, why keep them close? Creating distance gives you the clarity to see things for what they truly are, without the cloud of emotional manipulation or guilt. Consider this: when you allow those who disrespect you to stay in your orbit, it's like inviting them to an emotional buffet where they can criticize, judge, and diminish you. And then we wonder why we feel drained, anxious, or disappointed in ourselves. Giving yourself space from these people is an act of self-protection. It's about safeguarding your mental well-being, preserving your peace, and making room for those who genuinely respect and uplift you. I remember having a friend who never missed a chance to throw in a snide comment about my choices, my career, my relationships, even my taste in music. At first, I convinced myself maybe this is just their personality. Maybe I'm overreacting. So I kept them close, brushing it off, thinking it wasn't a big deal. But over time, those small remarks started to weigh on me. I realized I was walking on eggshells, always bracing myself for the next criticism. Then one day I decided to try something different. I didn't make a grand statement or confront them. I simply started seeing them less. I would meet up maybe once a month instead of weekly. And you know what? I felt lighter. I felt freer. With that space, I could finally see how toxic the friendship had become, and I realized I deserved friends who lifted me up, not ones who tore me down. Some might tell you that distancing yourself is selfish. They might say, but they're family, or you've known them for years. You might feel uneasy or even guilty about admitting that someone close to you isn't good for you. Society teaches us to be loyal, forgiving, and kind. But at what cost? Here's a little secret. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. You're not here to be anyone's emotional punching bag or their constant source of validation. Sometimes the best way to show someone you've had enough is simply to step back. Here's the deeper truth. Distancing yourself is a powerful reminder that you are your own priority. You don't have to play the role others assign to you, and you don't owe anyone access to your mind, time, or emotions. When you put space between yourself and those who don't respect you, you're making a bold statement that your well-being comes first. And it's not just about self-care. It's about creating space for your growth. Think about it. The more time you spend with people who respect and uplift you, the more confident and fulfilled you feel. The less time you spend with those who drain you, the less influence they have on your thoughts, mood, and life. I used to feel guilty about distancing myself from people who weren't kind to me, wondering if I was overreacting. But over time, I realized that creating distance isn't just about keeping negativity at bay. It's about creating space for growth. So here's my challenge for you. Think about the people in your life who consistently disrespect you, who make you feel small or drained. Ask yourself, Do they truly deserve as much access to you as they currently have? Now that we've explored the importance of distance in maintaining boundaries, let's move on to a solution that will help you even further: learning how to gracefully walk away. Solution number 5, hold your head high. Building on the idea of protecting your peace and maintaining boundaries, let's now dive into a powerful yet simple solution: holding your head high. Have you ever felt like someone was deliberately trying to make you feel small, almost as if they enjoyed belittling you? In those moments, you've probably heard the classic advice: hold your head high. It may sound simple, even a bit cliched, but let me tell you, it's an incredibly powerful tool when dealing with people who lack respect. When someone disrespects you, they're often hoping to see you lower yourself. They want you to question your worth, to bow your head, to retreat. But when you stand tall and hold your head high, you send a silent but strong message: I know my value, and nothing you do will diminish it. The true power of this gesture lies in confidence. Confidence has a way of making others uncomfortable, especially those who routinely put others down. They rely on the idea that their words or actions can control you, make you doubt yourself, or make you shrink. But when you refuse to let their disrespect affect you, when you walk tall and self-assured, you show them that they don't hold the power. You're unbreakable. And that throws them off balance, making them question their own power, not yours. I remember dealing with someone who seemed to take pleasure in throwing digs at me whenever we met. You know the type? Always smirking, always making jokes that feel more like attacks. At first, I tried to brush it off, but honestly, it bothered me. Every time I was around them, I felt like I had to put up a shield to protect myself. Then one day, I decided I was done feeling small. I walked in with my head high, and each time they made a snide remark, I simply looked at them, smiled, and continued as if nothing had happened. The incredible thing was that they started to back off. They could sense that their words no longer had an effect on me, that I had risen above it all. And slowly their power began to fade. There's something magnetic about holding your head high. It's like an invisible wall, a psychological shield that only you can create. People who don't respect you tend to dislike this because it disrupts their worldview. They want to believe they can dominate you, that they somehow own a part of you. But when you walk with confidence, you shatter their narrative, their script. Sometimes this might make you a target, but remember that holding your head high isn't for them. It's for you. It's a profound expression of self-respect, a way of living with confidence in your own worth without needing anyone else's validation. Holding your head high is also a message to yourself. No matter what you say or do, I still see myself as deserving of respect. My self-worth isn't something I wait for others to grant me. It's something I give myself. I live as if I already have everything I need, because the truth is, I do. Holding your head high serves as a constant reminder that you are the main character in your own story, that no one else's opinion has the right to make you feel less. I remember, not so long ago, I used to shrink myself when faced with criticism. I'd avoid eye contact and bow my head to protect myself from hurtful words. But over time, I realized that every time I held my head high, every time I refused to let someone's negativity seep into my soul, I felt stronger. It was a reminder that my worth doesn't rely on anyone's approval. I could stand tall and proud of who I am. Holding your head high isn't just about physical posture, it's about mental posture too. When you walk into a room, do it as if you belong there. Don't shrink yourself to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. If someone throws a nasty comment your way, let it pass. They're not seeing the real you. They're just projecting their own insecurities onto you. So the next time you face disrespect, take a deep breath, straighten your shoulders, hold your head high, and look them in the eye as if to say, I see you, but I'm above this. You'll feel a surge of confidence, a sense of peace, knowing their words have no power over you. Remember, respect starts with you. The more you respect yourself, the less room there is for others' disrespect to cling to you. Stand tall, embrace your worth, and know that you're worthy of every ounce of confidence. Now that we've covered how to stand tall and embrace your self-respect, it's time to remember, life is too short to let others define your worth. You don't need anyone's permission to stand tall, protect your peace, and live life on your own terms. If you found something valuable in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel with the bell icon so you won't miss out on more content. And hey, leave a comment below if you have a story about handling disrespect or setting boundaries. I'd love to hear it. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and remember, respect always starts with you.